All right, YouTubers and GMC owners, you found do it yourself, do it right, and my name is Dave. Like always.
No shit, Sherlock.
And GMC, she's starting to fall apart. Got a wheel bearing going bad. I'm gonna show you how to change it. Let's get into it. So you guys already know that if you're attempting this, you're gonna need an assortment of tools. And I got them all kind of laid out here. Well, probably not all of them, but most of them. You're gonna need some impact tools. You're gonna need, obviously, your wheel bearing, a breaker bar, an Ooga Dooga impact, a hammer, dead blow, a heat gun, because you know that axle is gonna fight coming off. It's not just gonna slide off like it should. Obviously, you're gonna need a jack, some jack stands to be safe, a little stool. That's just nice to have a little stool. But yeah, and you're gonna need some patience and probably some coffee. Let's do it. I mean, I procrastinated long enough. Let's just knock it out. Typically, the easiest way to tell that you got a wheel bearing going bad is, well, the sound when you're running down the road. You hear that buzzing sound. And then, if you really want to check it, you usually grab your tire and shake it, which on this one, it doesn't do it. Usually you'll hear a clunk, 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 clunk. You'll be able to move it up and down. But this one, it's not doing it. So hopefully it's the wheel bearing that's my problem. Now you need a 22 to get your lug wrench, your lug nuts off. You know the drill. Hit the button the wrong way. And now it's really tight on there. Now that you got the wheel off, you're gonna have to disassemble this whole thing. This whole brake carrier and your rotor has to come off. Luckily, I just did brakes on this not too long ago, so a lot of these bolts shouldn't be stuck too bad. The bolts that we're after, you can see my breaker bars on there. It's a 22, and there's two of them. It's gonna hold this brake carrier on. Bust these loose, and then we're just gonna take this whole brake assembly and hang it up here, get it so it doesn't flop around. We don't want it to hang on the brake hose. That would not be a good thing. And then we gotta take the rotor off, and we're gonna have to get us a Torx bit right here to take that Torx bit out. And then hopefully this rotor is not stuck on too bad. I did put grease and stuff on it when I put all this together, so hopefully that'll slide off. One thing I would recommend is right now I'd start lubing up this big nut. That nut's got to come off. And there's also the 3 bolts that hold the wheel bearing on the back side, which they're kind of hard to show you. They're back in here. Get some light. There's one of them. You see 3 of them in a triangle pattern. Those all the way down there. That one and this one over here. Those are the ones that hold the wheel bearing on. Right here, 1, 2, and 3. All right, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Oh, this has got to go this way. There we go. Yeah, beautiful. You could take this whole brake off first and then get the carrier, but you got to do it all. So I'm just gonna do it all in one step. I'm gonna go get my. I believe that's a 22, or no, it's a 21. I'm gonna go get my 21 ratchet wrench real quick. This is the nice thing about doing your own work. You know that you don't over torque, and you know once you've done it, it should come apart rather easily. I like to make sure that my brake is not going to go anywhere. So I got this little orange flexible, it's like a giant tie wrap. So I'm just going to tie wrap that up so it doesn't flop down while I'm trying to get the rest of this stuff apart. As you can see, that's off. One note for you guys, these bolts are the same size, so you don't have to worry about which one goes where. Now I'm after the brake rotor. This Torx bit is a Torx 30. And just set it off to the side. Be sure to put it where your feet are so you can kick it across your garage, across the hangar, across to wherever you're working. It's usually what I do. I'll just take your Thor. And get your rotor off.
That's what she said.
Like I said, mine comes off pretty easy because I just had these off. I like to, inspect these parts as I'm taking them off. Let's see if we can get that off. Woo! You should have hearing protection on for that. Now that I can't hear anything, I'm gonna go after these nuts or bolts in the back that hold the whole wheel bearing on as soon as I figure out what size they are. Bigger, just a little bit bigger. No, that's the same one I just had. Smaller. They wouldn't put an 18 on there, would they? It's an 18. That's rather odd of them. All right. Alright, it's loose, broken loose. Alright, yeah. The sound effects do help, by the way. Just like when you're in the gym. You hear those big, muscly guys doing a whop, yeah. Same thing. I don't know where I went wrong, how I gotta work on my vehicle. I don't know why I become oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts the knees. This bottom one, not so easy to get to. You just gotta get it from the back side. Oh my God. You got a little bit more room. And it's you're up against your axle, so you gotta kind of take it slow. Same thing with these three wheel bearing bolts. They're all the same size. You don't have to worry about putting one in any specific area. I think I'm just gonna go grab the slide hammer and just bam, 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 bam to get this off, because she's gonna be a fighter. Slide hammer, engage. Oh, that is solid. It's not budging. Gotta give her the heat.
One eternity later.
After blasting on this thing probably about 100 bazillion times, it's finally loose, as you can see. That was more than I bargained for. Oh boy, look at that. Oh yeah, she's all rusty. I'll get you in here. I have to do some cleaning. wire brush action. So when she goes back together, it slides right in there nice and easy. All right, so we're all cleaned up. I got grease on the inside of that race. Got grease on the splines. I got grease on here, around there. Also got grease down inside of those splines. It's just basically, you want to grease the hell out of everything. And then you just start the reassembly process. I'm gonna put it back. Let's see if I can get that brake to stay up on there, and then fandangle the axle in. There we go. Now it slid in. The whole bearing just slid right in, which is nice. It's kind of odd because it was so hard to get out. I figured it was a closer tolerance. Tightening one of the three that hold the whole bearing on, just so I can make sure that the axle is going to slide in and out nice and free. That should, all right, there we go. Now you guys can see that sliding in and out like that. It's supposed to slide nice and free. Torque on these 3 bolts is 103 foot-pounds. All right, we got 2 clicks out of her. All right. 103 inch-pounds. Rotor. Just make sure your screw, your T40, I think it was, goes over here. You don't want to put it on and it be in the wrong spot. Take your screw, jam it in there nice and tight. I wonder what Derek from Vice Grip Garage is doing right now. He's probably working on an old cool car. Probably not working on his daily driver. Ooh, brake carrier coming up. I do need to wipe that off though. Wipe these brakes off. Just in case some dirt got in there, which I'm sure it did. Alright, here we go. Alright, I'm gonna have to put some hearing protection in. When I do that, it gets really loud. So the brake carrier bolts are 96 foot-pounds, which I'm pretty sure I did not torque them to that last time. It didn't feel like they were 96. Alright, there's one. Alright, there we go. Torqued. Three to 5 seconds. That's all you're supposed to hold it. Well, you know, at least that's what they said in basic training. This tight. All right, let's take that off now. I don't have to yell at you guys. All right, let's do a once over. Make sure we don't have any tools on the ground or parts on the ground, bolts, anything other than this mess of tools I got. All right, so we got the pin, the little torque screws in, plug is in, nut is on, and height. Brake carrier is on, torqued. Wheel bearing is on and torqued. and axle is on, and it was sliding beautifully. Those brakes are gonna sound like crap when I first hit them, but time for the wheel. Torque on these lug nuts are 80 to 90 foot-pounds, or basically however tight my impact wrench puts them on. I do like to tighten them hand tight first before I go and whack them on there with the impact. Kind of move the wheel around, kind of get it centered up a little bit. You know, they got the bevel, but you know, I like to, I'm stuck in my ways basically. And we're just gonna give her some pop, 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 crisscross pattern. Crisscross applesauce. Now I just go around. There you have it, folks. Another job completed on the GMC. I will say that it's definitely not a beginner job. You gotta have some special tools. You definitely need an impact run. You need a heat gun. You need some way to get it hot, and then you need patience and a slide hammer for sure. So if obviously if you've been working on your vehicle and you have a majority of those tools, you can do it. It's not that difficult. It is a little frustrating at times, but when isn't working on a vehicle frustrating? Let's be honest. So if you guys are here just for the GMC wheel bearing content, check out my playlist for the GMC of everything that I've done on this thing, keeping this beast rolling down the street. A link to that will be around my head, or you can find it on my channel. I got a lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff that goes wrong on these GMCs quite regularly, like the headlight, for one example. So if you like this video, give me a like, tag, share, follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop another video. And like always, till next time, thanks a lot. Well, dang, you can barely see the pressure. My lovely lady bought me that.